As I mentioned in my previous video, I'm going to be making a Snail Knight character soon, and I thought I'd use this as an opportunity to explain how to set up image planes in Maya. Now, an image plane is used in Maya to give you reference points for where the model goes, what the shape is, what it looks like from the front versus the side view. Now, this one over here is just for a overall view of the whole thing at an angle, but what I'm most concerned with for image planes is the orthographic front and side views. If I had a top view, that would also be helpful sometimes. But for characters, I find front and side is plenty. So it's important to remember for this sort of thing, you don't want to use characters or images that are at a weird angle. You also want to make sure that your two views match up. So I've already gone through this and made sure that the eyes are rough in the same spot, the helmet's in roughly the same spot, the feet are in the same spot, the knees. Most of the important details are matching up vertically. I also want my front view to sit right in the middle of my scene in Maya, which is why I always want to make sure I grab this from the center. I'm going to use Alt, just drag out. Something like that. I'm going to copy this, make a new image, and paste that in. I'll grab the other one, copy that, and paste that in as well. And because I've already made sure these match up, I can check things like, is the helmet the right height? I can compare these two and see it. That's close enough. I will be placing these onto square planes in Maya. So it's important that the images also be squares. So I'm going to go to image, swap that around. Image, canvas size. And I want these to be the same width and height. So let's make them both 562. There we go. And now I can export these. By the way, before I go on, I will say that the side view is less important where it goes, as long as it's the same, position vertically as the front view. The front view, I do want to make sure that it is centered, because if it's centered here, it'll be centered in Maya. And that's what matters most to me right now. So if I export this, find my Snail Knight, and this will go into source images. That way Maya will know exactly where it is. And I'll call this Snail Knight IP for image plane front. Swap these around. Snail Knight IP side. And now I go to Maya. And I'm already set to the right project folder. There's a double check. Set project. Snail Knight. And I'll start by adding a plane into my scene. I'll worry about getting the scale more accurate later. For now, I just want to get my images into the scene. Holding down J will let me rotate these exactly 15-degree increments. That way I can make sure this is exactly 90 degrees. I don't want these at some weird angle. Right click, assign favorite material. I've got lots of materials I can pick from. When it comes to image planes, I always like to use the Lambert because it is plain and boring. Doesn't have any reflectivity or shiny spots. It's going to distract me as I move my camera around it. I'll name this IP front. And it's important that this image plane, if it's the front image plane, is pointing towards the front. And the front in your scene is towards the z-axis. That's the little blue arrow right here. If I go to my orthographic views, tap spacebar, front, right here, I can see the plane. Now to put the image on it, I'll go to here where it says color, click the checkerboard pattern, select file node, select the file folder, and there's Snail Knight IP front. And you can see you can't see it. There's nothing here. Well, it is there, it's just not displaying. 4 is for wireframe, 5 is for shaded, and 6 is for textured on your keyboard. And there it is. But it's not here. Why isn't my perspective view when it's here? Well, these different views are independent. I have to press 6 in this one as well. Now, rather than making a brand new plane from scratch, I'm just going to duplicate this one, Control D. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees, hold down J, rotate that. And on this one, I want to change the image to my side view, but I can't just go here and change the image because that'll change the image for both of them. See? Change this back, my front view. So instead, what I want to do is select this one and make a brand new material, another Lambert, IP side, and then add a new file node to this. And there it is. If I go to my side view, spacebar, side view, press 6, and there it is. Now the great thing about the orthographic views for this is that it does not have the concept of distance. There's no perspective. Normally, in real life, the farther away something is, the smaller it gets. That does not happen here. So what I can do is, if I'm worried about these image planes getting in the way while I'm modeling, I can push this back. Makes no difference here. Grab this one, push that back. Makes no difference there. So it doesn't matter where I place these, as long as this one is in the same position in the X and Y value, I can put as far back in the Z axis as I want. As long as this one is in the same position in the Z and Y value, I can push it back in the X direction as much as I want. It will make no change here. But I do want to make sure that I don't accidentally move these around in the future. Got them logged into the right place. I don't want to accidentally grab this one and wiggle it like that because then it's not going to match up with my front view. I'm going to grab them both in my channel box / layer editor. I'm going to make a new layer by using the one on the far right. This one will create a new layer and assign selected objects. So I click the V right here. I'll turn off and on again. Double click the layer right there, and I'll name this IP layer. And if you're ever not sure if you actually have them assigned, you can click the V. If they don't turn off with the layer, select them, right click, and tell it to add selected objects. Now, VP blank, the blank one right here is what I want to click. Click the blank one. This is T for template. They're locked down, but I can't see them. Click the T now, and now it goes to R. R is for reference. Now I can see them, but I cannot select them. As long as I can't select them, I can't accidentally move them. I can't right-click and go to vertex mode on them. I can't do anything to them. They're just there. If I do in the future need to move them, and I do plan on scaling these large to make them life size, click the R this time, it goes back to blank, and now I can reselect them, do whatever I need to them. I'm going to leave this set to R for the time being. And now I'll just save my scene, and I'll name this Snail Knight 001 Modeling. And that is it for this quick little lesson.